next person coming to the stage is a comedian. You may see her cutting up all over town. She mows lawns for a living. Give it up for Juanita Lolita.
Mi nombre es Juanita Lolita, and I do not talk like that. Not even a little bit. And Juanita Lolita is my real name. Honestly, like I could make up something like that. And I'm sorry, but I think that borders on child abuse. And my parents wondered why I wanted to become a comedian. It's like, well, okay, comedy or a postal worker. And being that my redneck daddy taught me how to shoot a gun, postal worker was out of the question. And of course, every job I've ever had, other than mowing lawns, I do mow lawns for a living. Come on, with a name like Juanita, I was destined to hold a leaf blower. Okay? But other than that, every other job I've had to wear a name tag. So inevitably, at some point during the day, some Spanish-speaking individual is going to walk up to me and go, "Ay, Juanita!" And you know how fast Spanish people talk. They are halfway through their life story and how they came to this country before I can even tell them no comprendo. And they all look at me the same way. But did anyone touch you? Juanita's a Spanish name? Well, no, not today, thank you. Okay, you probably noticed me flip-flopping between two different accents. That's because I am the product of a West Virginia hillbilly and a New York City Puerto Rican. Which makes me a hillbilly. And all that really means is that deep down inside of me, half of me does not like the other half. There's this constant inner struggle between doing something bad and doing something really bad. You know what I said is the truth? I know. Actually, my mom is wonderful. She's the nicest, most innocent woman you'd ever meet. Honestly, she makes Mother Teresa look like a party animal. And I'm still convinced she has no idea how my sister and I got here. That's my mom. Now, my dad, he's great, but he definitely makes up for it. I tell you, I had to borrow a jacket from him the other day, and I put my hand in the pocket, and I pulled out this little glass bottle. Alcohol? No, I wish, because that would explain so much. No, it was dough in heat bucklore. That's right, dough in heat bucklore. And unfortunately, my first thought was, God, I hope this is for hunting. Funny thing, I'm wearing a fluorescent orange jacket. How desperate does a deer have to be to see my dad in a cowboy hat and fluorescent orange jacket and go, ooh. She looks good. And knowing my dad, he gave it to my mother as a gift. Hey, darling, come here, I got you something. Oh, Daniel, that's so nice. What is it? It's perfume. But why does it have two deer on the front of it? Because it's all natural, honey, like nature. But Jean, what are they doing? They're playing leapfrog, honey. Why don't you put a little bit on and go stand out in the middle of that field for me? That's Dad. He calls me up the other day. He goes, honey, I got John Wayne on VD. Dad, the D in DVD is very important. It sounded like he had a 1967 documentary on sexually transmitted diseases hosted by the Duke. Well, Pilgrim, before you mount that little filly, you need to be sure your gun is protected in a holster. You need to protect it early in the event there's a misfire. Now, you need to get the right size holster. Don't be buying a holster for a .44 Magnum when the reality is all you have is a pea shooter. That's Daddy. me a gun for Christmas. I'm sorry, but when you've been married to a woman for 10 years, I don't think that arming her is the best decision to make. We're so far along in our marriage right now that if I were to do anything, the judge would say, well, it's been 10 years and he had a gun. And he gave her the gun. I mean, come on, I could just plead insanity because, ladies, don't our husbands drive us crazy? My husband can get a basketball this big into a hoop this big from 20 feet away with people trying to knock him over and take him out, and he cannot get his clothes in the hamper. And it's right there. I'm tempted to put a backboard on it so he can just wad up his underwear right there. I'm serious, I would not have given me a gun. But the gun came with, if I can find it, this key. In the event of an emergency, could you see me now? I can't believe you broke into my house. When I get this undone, you stand right there. You are messing with the wrong hillbilly. Put that television set down. Okay, I don't understand this. Actually, there's a list of things I don't understand, and I'm going to share a couple of them with you. I don't understand why spandex is sold in extra large. If you can't fit into it easily at a size small, you should not be wearing it. It is spandex and not expandex. I do not understand bikers, big burly guys with the cut-off sleeves and Ride for Your Guys tattooed on them somewhere, right? Macho. And they have these little tassels hanging from their handlebars. What is that? And I'm really sorry to say that black leather does not make it look more manly. Okay? But the biggest thing that I don't understand, and I hope that you all feel the same way, is the people that put those things on the back of their vehicles. You know what I'm talking about, the male body parts, okay? It's to show, I guess, that their vehicle is tough. Reality is, if you look at the size of those things and the size of your vehicle, I wouldn't be bragging. Thank you. Isn't that kind of like a grown man with Raisinets posing for Playboy? Maybe it's under the staple. I don't know. Thank you very much.